Oh, hey, didn't see you there.
Oh, oh, no. Oh, um,
Yep, that's welcome to the Aluminium Eaters podcast.
Hello.
Starring your host Ryan, who's already gotten down to work. I've got a couple cans of my own here. I can
Oh,
start munching
oh,
on during the you know.
oh, oh, oh.
But
Anyway, yeah.
stupid crap jokes that aren't funny aside. Well, this is the Immaterial Gamers podcast
Yeah,
starring
boy.
your 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 not your favorite podcasters, but maybe
Your weirdest podcasters.
maybe your cat's favorite podcasters.
It is
Uh,
a podcast.
got, we got
Hey,
Ryan
look,
and we
look. We
got
know. I was about to
we
say we
got
know
big
at
we
least
got big
one dog who's
we got
happy with.
Ryan, we have Duncan, and we've got Duncan.
Oh crap!
Two Duncans.
Oh no. Hold on. You keep
Incredible.
keep ramping while I. It's
We got
Darius. It was
got
Darius all
got a
along.
three manner today with the two D's and an R. DDR. Do
DDR,
do
Dance
do
Dance
do do
Revolution.
do 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 do.
What?
Dogs are going
Actually, hold on.
crazy.
3 dogs.
We got a lot of dogs. There's 4 dogs in here in total, and they're going ballistic for some reason.
Oh no, and Darius is providing his own finances again. Like yay! Oh man, I don't know. Look, I've just come off watching another LEC XL Esports watch party, and well, it was close. But close is viable in horseshoes and hand grenades. Not in a game of League of Legends where one Nexus explodes or the other. It was more competitive than it should have been. But XL lost. What I mean to say is on there is that I sound like an ass on this bit, but XL are they're a very good they're a good team. Just the teams that they played so far, G2 Esports and Koi, formerly Rogue,
Yeah.
are the second and first place of last year's LEC. So you know,
I mean, hey, what can you do, man? Oh, for God's sake! Hold on.
so Darius,
Yes.
how's it going? Well, Duncan's got a soy stuff. How's your week been?
I've been alright.
Good.
Yeah, got around to watch the big TV show.
Oh, The Last of
I'm
Us.
back.
Yeah,
Not Love Island.
The first
no.
of us.
It's alright. It's good. I like it.
Good.
However, I did took a
Oh,
bite and
Ah,
subscribe to Now TV or
yeah,
something like that.
yes, now because The
Yeah,
Last of Us is on Sky Atlantic over here in the UK,
yeah,
which is effectively HBO Max. In
exactly.
well, actually, no, it's more successful than HBO Max because they haven't cut off the programming. Shit.
hmm Hey, at least they kept the show that mattered, right? The one most important.
Well, but the thing is,
What
I
my
will be
21 Wives?
Velma.
Oh,
But anyway, my point is, I will be canceling it straight away. I
oh,
mean, I already done it.
oh.
Why?
Well, yeah, okay. Sorry,
They
hold on. Let me do that again. Why?
because on Now TV, whatever the fuck it
Hmm.
is, um, they only support 1080p.
Really?
Okay.
This is the hill you're dying on?
Yeah,
I, can I just? I just need to ask a
on
question.
on
I need to
HBO
ask a
and
question.
on HBO Max,
Mm,
you can get 4K HDR Dolby Vision.
right.
Right, so all the standards which you have right now,
Okay.
not something you had like 10 years ago, the standard HD.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, it's not standard HD. It's 1080p.
It's true. Good old 720p. Everyone forgets about them.
Mate, 520i.
Well, for 1080,
Who the fuck is
to be
520i?
honest, I had to add extra fiber. However, I had a 7 days shell on that to have 1080p. The standard one for $9.99 a month
Yeah.
is 720
Right.
with adverts.
Right, you see, that is an issue that I can agree with you on, because I started trying to watch The Peripheral on Prime Video, and I want to watch The Peripheral starring Chloe Grace Moretz, not an advert for Amazon Prime original Jack Ryan season whatever the fuck, then an episode of The Peripheral. Netflix is about to do it as well. It's like
I don't really mind seeing one advert at the beginning.
Mm.
However, with Now TV, you do have at the beginning, and
oh no,
in
you
the
have them on
case
breaks as well.
exactly.
No.
See, that's such bullshit. Like, what the fuck is this premium streaming service that has advertisements? Like, it was literally created to get access to your shows without the fucking advertisements. The whole fucking point of streaming, like
Yeah.
video on demand, is like, get the
Yeah.
fuck. You pay a subscription. You don't get cut out the ads. You make your money directly. You directly monetize.
So while you're watching while I was watching
Why are
The
we
Last
watching
of Us,
ads? We got fucking Amazon Prime's doing it. Your fucking subscription's doing it.
Well,
You say Netflix
Prime
is
is even worse, because Prime is also, because there's Paramount Plus and Lionsgate Plus, and they're all separate subscriptions on top of Amazon.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you can purchase
Paramount without Amazon.
Yes, if you are subscribed to the Sky service, you get Paramount Plus
as by default,
as standard, but you don't get Lionsgate Plus. No, you got to buy that separately as well. And it's now led to a point that your big ones, your Netflix and your Amazon Prime, don't have half the content that they used to have, and even then it's still too bloated and hard to find anything. And you're now stuck with, it's just like, oh right, I wanted to watch this. Oh no, we've took it off Netflix because it's now one. It's now one Endemol Plus, or whatever it's going to be.
and this is and this really pisses me off too, because it's like, the whole point. It's like reverse. It's like reverse capitalism, right? Because like, theoretically, in the perfect capitalist world, according to people who study this stuff, you know, the whole point of it is that it's like, the more competition you have in like this in an industry, the better the better it is for consumers, at least theoretically, because they have to compete with each other. They have to offer the best possible deal that they can afford, otherwise they won't make the cut.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's like the opposite of what's happening. It's like when Netflix was like the only company that made anything or had like the on-demand streaming service, or at least of note, they were like they were great. It was fucking great service. Ever since Netflix started to suck and all of these other people came in to replace them, each one has been successively worse than the previous, and they all get away with it because their competition is equally terrible.
Yeah.
It's like they're racing to the bottom. It's a race for last place in the streaming world. I don't understand how this is happening. They're supposed to get better, not worse.
Yeah. To be fair, this is what it did lead to, like a picture that I saw on Twitter at some point. It's like, I have the brand new idea for the new medium of watching appointment television. It's called cable. You take all the services and you put them into one thing.
Like, Jesus, I bet you cables come down. I bet if I were to sign up for a cable subscription, I'd get something half decent for an okay price.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to.
That's what we do. We just go back to normal TV. We get a TV guide and just a recorder, and just record the stuff we want to watch, and then go back and watch it later.
If I can support my local goddamn like mom and pop TV station run by 7 people. Fucking why not, right? At this point,
Yeah, and here in local 5 community news, a fish jumped out of the pond in Central Park recently.
ain't gonna get
Which
that story on Amazon Prime. Let me tell you.
no, well you would, but there'd be an ad before it. No, worse,
One,
it'd
if
be
you're
in the
lucky.
middle. It would be in the middle of it. And
Yeah,
our top stories
there'd be
today,
like a
there was a
mid roll.
fish. Jack Ryan season 2 on.
Yeah, the fucking mid roll ad them just as the fish is about to, because like an algorithm would detect like the most interesting part of the video, right? And just as it was getting to that climax, boop,
Yeah,
Jack Ryan.
yeah. It brings new meaning to the term hook and tease. Uh, so fish hook and tease, if you will. And with that, I'll just ruin the joke on there.
But yeah, no, it's just like I say, it's a race to the bottom because every new thing that comes out, they can afford to be worse than the best version of the thing that they used to be competing with, because the thing they used to be competing with can't afford to be as good as they used to be anymore. So they have to suck, and therefore they can get away with sucking just as hard, if not more, because they have better products available. It's
Mhm.
mind-boggling. It blows
Yeah,
my goddamn mind.
yeah. It's just madness in it. It's just absolute madness. Um, but anyway, yeah, Peripheral's great. I've heard The Last of Us is good, and
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
and
I
that's
don't
and that's
fucking
just
watch TV. I'm so fed up with these fucking streaming services. I don't even fucking watch TV anymore. I'm just
just make
YouTube man
yeah
at this
YouTube.
point.
With The Last of Us, I would have to say that one thing. If you don't know what's going to happen, it's miles better.
That's all right because I haven't played much of the games.
It's you have complete like what the hell moments while you're watching it. Where for my example, because I was watching with my stepdad, my mom, and my girlfriend.
Mm.
Uh, I knew what's going to happen. I knew who is going to die the next scene. I know that I will be freaking crying the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was nice to see them being shocked by certain events in the movie.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, that was fun for me. However, I did not have as much as I don't know how to say it.
Didn't have.
About wow effect on myself because I kind of know the story.
Mm.
But
Yeah, there is that.
it is still good TV show to be honest. And even if I know what is going to happen, I'm looking forward to the scene after scene,
Well,
how
well,
they portrayed everything.
Well, I'm I have often been quoted. Well, I say I've often been quoted. I just say it a lot. I'm hoping someone will eventually quote me.
Mm.
Is that it's like a story that is ruined by knowing what happens at the end is the same thing as saying that a story is not worth experiencing twice. And if a story isn't worth experiencing twice, then it's not a good story. So if you do enjoy it,
I do enjoy it.
experiencing it more than once, then it was a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If you
do
thought,
enjoy it.
it's like who only ever watches a movie once or reads a book once. If it's good enough, you'll do it again. If it sucked, then you'll probably just
Yeah, put
throw
it
it down
away
and
and
ignore
Let's
it.
forget
let's
about
put
it.
that as an example. I've watched Hot Fuzz an obscene amount of times.
Hot Fuzz is the greatest comedy film of all time.
Yeah,
Full
and
stop.
there's still stuff that watching it 30 times more than the normal human
Oh
being
yeah, man.
that I'm still
Fucking
finding in that.
what's that man, he packs a lot of detail into those movies. A
Yeah,
lot of little bits of information that are easily slip by. Yeah.
yeah. He's Edgar Wright is very good when it comes to that sort of storytelling. I mean, I was watching The World's End again, which again out of the 3 films is it's weaker than Hot Fuzz to me. It's like everyone all goes,
Yeah. Oh
"Oh,
yeah.
Shaun of the Dead's the best film in their opinions," and I'm like, Hot Fuzz, hands down for me
No,
personally.
I'm like more emotionally attached to Shaun of the Dead for various reasons, but Hot
Mm.
Fuzz is definitely a better made movie. And yeah, Worldends. I mean, Worldends is probably the weakest of the trilogy, but it's still
It's still a good
that's
film.
an A movie right there.
Yeah, it's still a good film, and still seeing bits of like when you know what pub the characters are in at that point, just by like a detail of just seeing one of the sailboards on the side, so that they get to the sixth pub of the film, and on the side, which I think is the film where they meet the Reverend Green again, and it's just on the side of the wall it just says shooters 6 for the price of 12 or like 12, whatever. It's just like And it's just like, all right, yeah, we're halfway through the pubs of the film. Got it, perfect. I mean, even to the point that the events of the film or the events of the World's End, like the crawl, matches the my dream of youth story at the beginning, just with alien Barbie dolls.
There you go.
So, but yeah, but where was I? Oh yeah, I was about to say my controversial opinion for the Last of Us games
Yeah.
and for modern Naughty Dog games. They are absolutely great narratives ruined by gameplay.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
That's
I feel that pacing of the games, for me personally, let's say I'm just a random on the internet. It doesn't really matter what I think, but I think sometimes the pacing of their games is inconsistent with the story that they're trying to tell a lot of the time. I mean, I take like Uncharted as a proper one. Oh, you got Nathan Drake, this guy who doesn't like to hurt a fly when it comes to treasure hunting and shit like that. Suddenly ends up in a chest high wall cutscene where he's just murdering a million mooks, and then just walks through as if he's not actually killed anyone and he's just disarmed them. Though it has had a funny moment in, I think it was Uncharted 3, where he's like
Mm-hmm.
exploring some sort of museum and his like side character, because they're teaching you how to pull people off roofs, to sort of leg grab him, and there's a guy that just
Mm-hmm.
turns around and he just goes, "There's a guy above you. There's a guy above you," and then it gives you the tutorial to pull the guy off the roof, and you do it, and as he falls down, you hear the guy go, "There's a guy below you. There's a guy below you." It's just like it's like all right, fair enough. That's fun in terms of the gameplay bit, but yeah, for me, it's narratively me being shit at stealth segments in a Last of Us game detaches from the story that is trying to tell of this road trip across America. That's just me. Like I say, maybe it's just me being a bad stealth person. I mean, to be honest, I find Metal Gear Solid a lot more fun when you sit there desperately trying to find machine guns to kill people with, rather than hiding around in your orange cardboard box. Um,
Dun,
but
dun, 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 dun,
oh,
dun, dun.
that was a story that had actually come up. I'll see if I can find it again on
sorry, guys.
Kotaku. All right. Yeah, there was. Here we go. Yes, I'm actually going to bring this up and just talk about because this is organically segued into something. Um, Real Soldiers. The link says Real Soldiers Metal Gear Solid Cardboard Box Robot. Real soldiers use Metal Gear Solid tactic to defeat military robot.
Mm. Okay.
Sounds funny.
So on The Economist,
What's the story, Chief?
let's just have a look.
It's
Paul Shara shares a story about how the US
What'd you
military
bring
used a
me?
group of Marines to improve an AI robot's human detection algorithm. It's like they're just showing screenshots of a book. Here's a paragraph. Now the Marines would try to defeat the AI system. They parked the robot in the middle of a traffic circle, and the Marines had to approach it undetected, starting from a long distance away. If any Marines could get all the way in and touch this robot without being detected, they would win. I wanted to see, game on, what would happen. 8 Marines, not a single one got detected. Phil said. They defeated the AI system not with traditional camouflage, but with clever tricks that were outside of the AI system's testing regime. 2 somersaulted for 300 meters, never got detected. 2 hid under a cardboard box. You could hear them giggling the whole time, like Bugs Bunny in a Looney Tunes cartoon sneaking up on Elmer Fudd in a cardboard box. One guy, my favourite, Phil said, he field stripped a fir tree and walked like a fir tree. You can see his smile, and that's about all you see.
How does one walk? Walk like a?
Well, no, it's walking. Like you've played the video games where you have to disguise as a tree or something like that, and you'll just see the graphics of a tree just bobbing up and down as it goes forward towards someone.
I like
So that
I like the screenshot from Metal Gear Solid where you got fucking like the magical girl,
Hawaii.
like anime girl plastered on the cardboard box. I like to imagine them actually using that in
Yeah.
the military training. Just be like, it's just like it's got your standard issue, waifu box
Mhm.
used for diffusing hostile uh, AI controlled robots, and also for emergency cosplay if you need it.
Yeah. So the guy's paragraph eventually says here the AI system had been trained to detect humans walking, not humans somersaulting, hiding in a cardboard box, or disguised as a tree. So these simple tricks, which a human would have easily seen through, were sufficient to break the algorithm. And yet, Metal Gear Solid. It's just a box. So,
Well, I
yeah,
kind
that.
of like the idea that it's like, like it's kind of like implying that the idea that the reason why it works in the video game is because the NPCs are controlled by AI and therefore do not recognize Snake as a human.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
must have been my imagination. Must have been the wind. He says, there's a fucking cardboard box scooting towards him with a knife sticking out of it.
Yeah, but that's just how it is. And I'm being really bad here. I'm being a bad host. I'm looking over to my TV in the corner because I've got the last LEC game playing as it's going on. So I'm such a bad human that I am sat there trying to update the spreadsheet for our fantasy league mid podcast. Which
Maybe if someone
for
put a cardboard box over your TV, you would no longer think that there was a TV there. It'd be like,
it's
oh
just
wait, I guess we don't have a TV anymore. No,
it's just a
must have
box.
been my imagination.
Yeah, it's just a box. Um, but yeah, has anyone played anything different? Because I haven't.
I played Fire Emblem Engage, a couple levels
Engage.
of it. Engage.
Fire Emblem Captain Picard.
Yes, engage.
Oh, if only. I would play a Fire Emblem game
I
where
would
you just.
rather. I'll be honest.
Uh oh.
I'd rather be playing fucking Fire Emblem with the protagonist as a bald, intellectual old man than play this fucking like
Generic blue
the
haired,
the
red
go-
haired human.
the gaudiest fucking VTuber avatar I've ever seen in my life.
What? Right. Was there any reason why they decided to? Because they pulled what they did with Three Houses, haven't they? It's just one character, but you can play him male or female.
Yeah, fully
Uh.
voiced. So there's that.
Oh right.
Um,
Okay. So that's actually a step up
moderate,
from
moderately more personality than the three house protagonist who didn't have one.
which was called Byleth,
Byleth, the most unpronounceably dumb name ever.
to which you and Andrea just called Blythe.
Yeah, Blythe. I've called it. One playthrough I named it Gravy, just because it was funny. I've named I've this is so fucking stupid.
Oh,
So
go
me
on.
and my sister, we're kind of sharing a copy for now. We may eventually get our own copies, but for now we're just kind of sharing one.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with a naming convention for fucking characters when we play. We've decided that the female protagonist will be named Colgate after the toothpaste
Yep.
brand, and
Oh yeah, it is, isn't
Colgate
it?
Colgate Chan for for full honorifics. And as the male protagonist, I'm playing as Pepsi Man
Pepsi Man
from hit
from hit game Pepsi.
2000s Pepsi commercials / video game Pepsi Man. So so now I have to watch all these like very serious, absolutely no fun allowed anime characters refer to
We're
me
fresh.
as
Oh, that's what it's called.
Pepsi Man in dialogue, which obviously they don't say out loud because
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
but they always I'm like the divine one Pepsi Man is my honorific.
I'm gonna post something in the Discord, in the
Fucking Pepsi
uh
Man and Colgate Chan.
in the podcast availability channel. Someone did
Pepsi Kun
this.
and
Someone did
Colgate
this to
Chan.
the main character for the hairstyle.
Oh God, how did it get worse? How did it get worse?
Sonic and Knuckles, everyone. But what is the
Oh
main
God.
character's name in Engage then? like
I think
before
it's just
you
like
name it.
I think it's Alear, like Alear. So
I have
it's
no idea.
kind of sounds like a real word almost. So
Hmm.
Alear, it's all right. It's fine. Now, unfortunately, I've only played like 3 maps or something, and most of it was tutorials, so I can't
Yeah.
really. Oh God, Ryan's gone wild.
Whoa! What the
Um,
hell happened there?
he's being taken over by a robot.
I'm an AI. Quick, get your cardboard boxes.
Shit, boxes. I don't have any boxes. Ah, the one time
Birdtree?
I have zero. The one time I have zero cardboard boxes. I'm usually covered in Amazon boxes in this room, but this is the one time I have no boxes.
So,
Um,
so you said
but
you only
anyway,
played a
I
couple of
can't really
maps and they
say.
were tutorial stuff.
Yeah, I can't really comment too much. Early impressions are good.
Hmm.
We're back to the classic formula of you've got your protagonist, a bunch of in a a pre-promote unit, and some other random peoples. You get like a special like mega evolution ability type thing where once per like well not once per map, but like you get like a as you do fighting and whatever, you get like a little bar that fills up
Oh right, okay.
and you can engage sort of full on like magical girl transformation where you like to sort of embody the spirit of one of like the past like 12 Fire Emblem protagonists, and they all
Hmm.
have like give you special weapons and abilities that lasts for 3 turns, and then you go back to being a normal schlub again.
Right.
Presumably a bunch of characters are going to have this ability because there's like 12 rings that let you do this.
Okay.
um so yeah, that's kind of fun, that's kind of neat.
Fair enough.
They have a weird mechanic where at the end of every like so like in Three Houses, in between missions you could like explore the monastery and be like, "Hey guys, I'm running around exploring the monastery." That's what you actually say that out loud.
Wow.
Just,
Hey guys, I'm just
I'm
going to
kidding.
explore.
I'm kidding. That's not a real thing. I, um,
Fair enough.
but uh, and now in this game it's like you would explore like the battlefield that you just cleared
Hmm.
after a fight. You kind of like walk around and get items and talk to people,
So it's like
which
this.
is
So it's got some sort of like aftermath mode. Just like
sort of, yeah. It's weird. It's a weird choice. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but
hmm.
maybe it'll be interesting later.
I mean, to be fair, you personally through your Fire Emblem stuff just got used to the fact of being able to explore anywhere.
Yeah, we did. That is pretty brand new technology to Fire Emblem. That you didn't really get to do that like at all in
Yeah,
the
because
older games.
it was just moved from one battlefield to the next with
Pretty
story
much.
punctuated in between, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
right up until like Awakening, that was the formula, and then like from there they've gradually given you more and more
yeah,
leash room.
yeah.
So yeah, first impressions are good. Obviously, I'm reserving my judgment on the game as a whole because like
Hmm.
Fire Emblem games are long as shit. It's gonna be like 50 hours before I actually get anywhere with that game. So
Well,
I will
I remember
keep
with you
you
and
up to date.
yeah, I remember with you and Andrea. It took what was it, about a year and a half to do your playthrough of Three Houses.
Yeah, it sure did.
So and I did notice that when you finally finished Security Breach, I did see that the game category changed slightly to Fire Emblem Awakening. So was that something that you're continuing to plan to do, or was that just something you did because you finished Security Breach too soon
So
into
about
that
that,
session?
funny that you assume we completed Security Breach.
Well, to be honest, I was
What
surprised that you did a sixth episode on Security Breach, because for all intents and purposes, when I was uploading the VODs and I saw the title of your stream for the fifth part of you saying this should be the final part,
we were hoping it would be the final part. We were also
uh,
hoping that part 6 would be the final part. Um,
and
And 20 parts later, we're
we
still going.
we just decided that we would rather have played Fire Emblem
so you just
Awakening instead.
midstream you decided, yeah, we don't enjoy this game.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get
Well,
around to it
it
eventually.
it took you a few.
We're
To be
just
fair, it took you a
we're
few
having
sessions.
issues with the Chica section is really what it boils down to. It's just been completely
Uh,
unfair.
Fair enough.
It's like it alternates between unfair gameplay and like actually like glitching through the floor. Like it's like a total fucking shit show.
It, it's
And
just
it's like when the game is working perfectly, it's miserable. And when the game isn't
Oh,
working, it's
miserable.
miserable. It's just it's not enjoy it was fun shit talking it and just kind of fucking around at first. Now it's just frustrating.
I can understand where you are on that. Like I say, I tried because it was a couple of weeks because I needed a couple of weeks to play some games before Persona 3 Portable came out, which is what I'm doing on the Not Yet Titled Monday stream. So I was left on the idea of trying to find like a game that would last 3 weeks, or just one shot games. And I tried to play one of the few games from Biffle Games that I hadn't actually played, which was John Wick Hex. And I will say, unfortunately, it was a miserable experience. It wasn't. And this is the thing when we're trying to play stuff on the Immaterial Gamer streams. We're trying to play games that we know that we will enjoy because we want other people to enjoy them with us.
yeah.
When you get to a situation where you play a game where you felt you've made a mistake half an hour into a 2 hour stream and you just keep going because
You
you
dedicated yourself.
yeah, you're in there. You're in now. In for a penny, in for a pound. That's just how it is. That's a replay. No one cares. So yeah, I can sort of understand where that will have happened with security breach, especially like I said, some bugs are funny the first time you meet them.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
not funny when you've experienced it 8 times in a row.
Yeah.
So I know that. I mean, I experienced my second ever bug with Chained Echoes this morning as well. I've had the game not progress twice, and I've played it for quite a few hours now, probably 30 hours, something like that. One time it happened trying to go from a cutscene. I just went through a map, moved to the next area, and what it's supposed to do is basically it's done you step through an area, and then meanwhile, it cuts to somewhere else to do a cutscene. It didn't load the cutscene, it was just a black screen, so it's just like, oh well, that's problematic. Hopefully I haven't lost too much progress.
Yeah, I was gonna to say then you're back like 2 hours.
Luckily there's two things on there. The game auto saves every time you move, or like every time you move from one area to another. It also auto saves over certain periods of time and just before you hit a boss fight, so that's fine. Secondly, you can save. It's one of those rare RPGs where you can save anywhere at any time.
Don't get a lot of that.
They are they are sort of the best designed save points in the history of RPGs because they don't force you to go to a fucking save point. I think the worst ones were the Square Enix Final Fantasy sort of stuff where it was like you have to go in and you'll end up in another area and fight the boss, and only after you've fought the boss is there the save point, which is the most backwards game design ever known to man. No, you have the save point before the big set piece, not after. And this was before the Souls-like games, so
Yeah, that
But
hurts.
but my second crash has actually happened in the middle of a boss. So I was fighting this boss, and it's a simple boss to face. You were in big mechs called Sky Armors, and the boss had 4 crystals, and each crystal did a different, or gave the boss the ability to do a different type of attack. So there was a healing crystal, metal crystal, which means it does a big, heavy, damaging physical attack, a magic crystal, which means it does a very heavy magical attack, and a broken crystal, which does nothing. It literally does nothing. So when the boss tries to use it, it's stupid. So obviously the idea is that you strategize taking out the crystals in an order in order to, make it easier for yourself. But I took a couple of crystals out, and then it said it was going to do an attack, and the boss just stood there. It's just like prepares big physical attack, and it was just like,
And you're just waiting when their attack
It
is
it
ready.
it just stood there. It's a turn-based game, and it's just like,
It's just standing there
yeah,
menacingly.
Watching you.
menacingly. But you know, in terms of bugs like that, they're fine because they're rare. They're hard to replicate, so there isn't really much of a bug report you can send. You can say it happened, but a lot of bug reports they turn around and say, "Well, how can we replicate that bug?" And it's like, "Well, it didn't happen the second time round, so yay me." But yeah, when you've got something that's poorly coded, which is seemingly what's happened with Security Breach, and I won't mind, it's been out for a year, hasn't it?
Mm.
It's got a DLC. They pushed a DLC out, and the base game's still not working. So
Yeah, I love
it's hurting
everyone's
Duncan.
favorite development system. It's like just put out more content. Don't forget about the shit that doesn't work and all that we
No,
can't be bothered to fix.
well, no. To be fair, it could be like Square Enix. Just what they do,
Mm.
which is cancel
Canceling.
everything.
Cancel
Cancel
everything.
everything. So Square
Just
Enix
Well,
like
they're
loves.
canceling games left and right. They're canceling TV shows left and right. So what's next? Will they cancel our life?
Oh, haven't you heard, Darius? Square Enix has just announced they're shutting you down.
Oh no!
No, no one is
Nice.
shutting me down.
It's like
I can shoot them down.
no one can shut me and then his stream cuts out. It's like text appears over where his webcam used to be. It's like canceled by Square Enix. It's like, well, no, it can't end like this.
Like, no, I'm still here. I'm still here.
We can make it happen.
But oh my god, I've just
But
realised my shirt currently says "ding enjoyment noises." It's supposed to say pudding enjoyment noises.
my impression of putting enjoyment noises.
Pudding. But yeah, Square Enix have announced that they're ending the development of Marvel's Avengers. Prepared for September.
They should finish it earlier on.
No, maybe they shouldn't have made it a live service in the first place. Maybe shouldn't have made it a microtransaction laden mess from the outset. There's no loot boxes. Don't worry. There's just a season pass for every character. Stupid idiots. And this is on the back of them cancelling Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, that Battle Royale game, Chocobo GP, Babylon's Fall, Bravely Default, the mobile game. Most likely they'll cancel what's it called? Octopath Traveler, the mobile game. They're cancelling everything. What they're doing is they're going in. It's pump and dumping. It's like, oh, spend your money on this game that is definitely got a 10-year cycle. No, I'd say that has to be the reddest of red flags now.
It's like the world's shittiest crowdfunding campaign for their next Final Fantasy or the next Kingdom Hearts title.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, this is exactly as Stephanie Sterling said at one point. It's basically, where were we? No, I've forgotten what they said. Something just along the lines of just the evil dickheads. Oh yeah, that was it. It's basically they've decided that they looked at Final Fantasy VII and the whole, maybe a corporation shouldn't have all the money and all the power of all that business. The absolute plot to Final Fantasy VII, looked at it and went, we don't actually believe that shit, do we? Shinra's not the bad guy, right?
Yeah, it is. It is kind of
good guys. They always were.
calling the kettle black. It's just like you may have noticed the once heavy themes of industrialization, just corrupting nature, and things like that. Those themes kind of they've slowly slid away from
Hmm.
from their titles in recent years. They're not so much about that anymore.
No, no.
Weird. Uh,
Weird how that works.
yeah, I mean, I personally, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't believe that certain companies should go public. I don't believe that video game or really entertainment companies in general should go public.
Mm.
Once you open yourself up to like public scrutiny and all of your executives, their entire jobs are dependent entirely on whether or not the people who own voting shares in the company
Mm.
like them enough. It's like once you're beholden to that, you just fall into this trap of we gotta churn out products, make profit, big dollar go up, number go up every
Yeah.
year, every quarter, and it's just it
Yeah,
completely
once you're public, everyone wants a piece of you, isn't it?
it just yeah it just completely
And
hoovers up the entire
it's just killing creativity, basically.
yeah
That's what we're
the
trying
whole
to say.
nature of the creative enterprise. It just doesn't work for film companies. It doesn't work for video game companies. It's always for the worse. It's never for the better.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, you can be the biggest fucking public or biggest public or private entertainment company ever. Is just as long as you just keep that door shut. Fucking hold on to those shares. Uh,
Why number not
But
go
we
up?
but really, we all know that the real reason why Square Enix is canceling all these projects. It's not for the next Final Fantasy. It's because they want to. They're gonna make another movie, guys. They're probably just gonna make another movie.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Without.
I think it's hilarious that Square Enix has tried in like 3 different decades to make a Final Fantasy movie,
Mm.
and it has been a colossal flop every single time.
Yeah. So we've
I
had. So
don't
we had.
know. I don't know how it keeps happening.
So we had what we had. So we had Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then they did.
Yes.
Then they did the
One
Final
of the most
Fantasy
expensive
VII.
Seven.
failures of all time.
Yeah. Then they had the Final Fantasy VII sequel,
Yeah,
Advent
Advent
Children.
Children. Yep.
And what are they doing now?
Well,
Or what did they have
they had
before?
the Final Fantasy 15 tie-in.
Oh, Kingsglaive. God.
Yeah, that's doing. I mean, fucking games sold like hotcakes. I don't think anyone saw the goddamn movie
No,
starring
which was worse because
Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul.
oh my god. And given the fact of the thing is that apparently the whole Final Fantasy 15 as a project is incomplete because their second batch of DLCs never came out. The old idea that you had to read the Final Fantasy 15 book, watch Kingsglaive, play the game and all its DLC to have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah,
It's
they went full Bionicle.
oh,
They went with the
except
full
Bionicle
Bionicle
makes more
method.
sense.
Yeah, well, it's like Bionicle. Their whole fucking marketing campaign was that every like aspect of their like media, every branch of their media, would tell a different part of the story.
Hmm.
Like you'd have video games that told their own story. You had the movies that told their own story. Like the toys themselves had their own like lore built into it.
Yeah,
Like they
so
had
Bionicle
it was a
did world
full
building.
media marketing campaign. Like every genre was utilized
Hmm.
for that. And now
That
that's and Square Enix obviously looked at that and said, "Hey, let's do that for our flagship product."
let's do that, but worse.
Yeah.
Uh, Jesus, Square Enix, man, Square Enix. What else
But
have we
no,
got?
the movie thing that was a joke.
Oh right, okay.
I just think it would be really funny if they tried to make another movie.
Yeah, no, they're trying to make NFTs, aren't they? Everything's all NFTs and like idiots.
NFTs. I want an NFT of Cloud wearing sunglasses, smoking a cigarette with a big
Yeah,
toothy grin.
ridiculous. Oh, the wow. All right, the G2 Fnatic game's already over. Wow.
Woo!
Yeah. Speaking of that,
Did I
Riot
get any
Games.
points?
Do you get any points? Let me see. Did you have G2 win for the second game for the second day?
I
Because if
don't
you
think
did,
so.
you have at least one more point. If you didn't, it's Fnatic, and you've got problems. Yeah.
I always got problems. It's always like that with you, Ryan.
Oh dear me.
You've got the problem.
Oh, we've gone live, by the way.
Going to die.
We went live on Twitch.
Just now.
Stupid bot.
Just
Stupid
now,
bot.
incredible. I
Stupid
can't
bot.
believe
Dear
it.
God.
It's our first live podcast.
I know, right? Very quickly on this. Riot Games, according to bleepingcomputer.com, the headline says Riot Games hacked, delays game patches after security breach. Not the FNAF game. Earlier this week, said a Riot Games tweet, systems in our development environment were compromised via a social engineering attack. That's the attack. So social engineering from those hacking games I've played is basically you try and get someone. The whole idea is that you ask questions convincingly to someone to give you parts of information, and then you can put them all together and then hack someone. You usually get detail A off someone, and then you ask person B about detail A, and you'll get then detail B, and you can take that information, you build up a profile in order to then impersonate someone and get into the network. Someone had succeeded doing that. But we wanted to communicate early and let you know there is no indication that player data or personal information was obtained. That's right, everyone. Change your passwords.
Social engineering, also known as people at Riot not doing their fucking job correctly.
Well, that sounds right. That sounds right.
They want to make it sound technical to make it sound so that it doesn't sound as though they're just
As bad as it should.
Yeah.
not as good, not good at security.
Yeah, social engineering. Someone left their password post-it note in full view, which I actually think is Riot Games' headquarters just have big, like most tech startups, it's just glass all the way through. Someone's probably just walked up and just went, "I want to know what's happening in that ARI update." Oh, password, perfect. So so it's messed up. Martin's just said some silly fuckers probably just set their password as
cannot
password.
get my head around it, to be honest. How can they live in the open, as you said?
Yeah. So that's why patches are delayed, and that's probably the reason why the first day of the LEC finished 2 hours late, because every game on the tournament realm had a delay and a pause. So, Anyway, last story. Something funny. I did speak to Duncan and Dariusz about this beforehand, just to have a laugh with it and to make sure that they don't go, "What the fuck?" But
Oh boy.
yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Scarjo.
Yeah,
Pokemon Scarjo.
Yeah. Last time we talked about this, we talked about how buggy the thing was.
It's like there's like a delineation you need to make between buggy and just
it was a mess.
Not a well put together game. Speaking of somebody
as big mess as Cyberpunk when it came out.
Yes.
I never played it when it came out, so I didn't know. But
yes, characters being robotic, falling through floors,
just like terrible, just unoptimized. There's constant performance issues. It is literally it's almost impossible to play the game at full frame rate. Almost impossible.
Yeah. One of the biggest bugs that I saw was catching a Pokemon, and when trying to catch a Pokemon to give it enough memory to do the Pokemon wobbles around in the Pokeball animation, it unloaded the open world around it. And then reloaded it in as the animation was happening. Now, granted, there has been a patch that's come out recently, or like that come out that's supposed to have fixed many issues, but it should have come out. It shouldn't have come out in that state in the first place. Day one patches are an excuse, not
No solution.
not a solution.
Yeah, it's. Look, I've played. People want to say like, "Oh, the Switch is just a fucking toaster." It fucking, it's, it's the technology. It's like it's not the fucking technology. Okay, I've
No.
played games on the Switch before and after Scarlet and Violet came out. Okay, they play just fine. They
Yeah.
are just as visually and technically, involved as that game. Um,
What's the thing that
and
people
it
compared?
works.
Breath of the Wild. People like saying,
Yeah,
"Oh,
Breath of the Wild.
like,
Breath of the
Breath of the
Wild
Wild uses
runs.
a damn sight more than
Yeah,
that, and it works."
Breath of the Wild runs flawlessly. It's perfect. I mean, not like I mean, like there are some things you can do to like get it to slow down, but it runs very smoothly.
And that
Well,
game's
that's the
that
only
game was
way.
out 5 years before this.
Yeah, that's
So
the only game which I would consider purchasing for. I mean, purchasing the whole system as Nintendo.
I can understand where you are on that. I mean, but for me,
But
like, I'm not
I got a
always.
free copy with mine.
Yeah, like I say, a lot of the times I play a game for its experience, and there's some games, like I say, I'm in the middle of Chained Echoes at the moment, and it is 8-bit sprites in a world that looks, 8-bit. Doesn't need to have all the bells and whistles. As long as your mechanics are down, your story's good, and your pacing is fine, it can look like Stickmen for all I care. And believe me, I played Kingdom of Loathing as well, and that got me going. But anyway, yeah, a YouTuber by the name of what's that, Mutikimaru, has made a device for his fish to play video games, which was done during the pandemic. So when a fish swims over a certain area of the controller, the game registers it as an import. It's basically it's fish plays Pokemon. Twitch plays Pokemon, but fish plays Pokemon.
Yeah.
But the slight problem is, one fish had managed to open the eShop for the Nintendo Switch because the game crashed while they were playing it. So it sent them to the eShop and opened which then led to the fact of, while this was on stream live, it showed their credit card information.
oh,
The fish then, according to Kotaku, proceeded to add 500 yen into the account. It then used the Nintendo Gold coins to buy a golfing cosmetic from Nintendo Switch Sports.
Oh man, the fish knew what he wanted, man.
He wanted to play esports golf. Well, not esports golf.
That's evolution, man. That fish that fish is gonna be a Gyarados soon.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's effectively it's fucking what was that game for the Dreamcast? Seamen, or like Seaman, or whatever it was called. It was where you used a Dreamcast microphone to try and raise a fish with a man's head. It's like I had a human face and a man's head. It was narrated by Leonard Nimoy.
Oh dear.
Dariusz, you're looking at me like you've never heard of this thing. I will find
not
you the
really,
link, and
no.
oh, it's an experience.
And let that be a lesson to you kids. Never stream when you're not at home.
Yeah.
Always be at home to supervise your own Twitch stream, live stream, because of
Yep.
things like that.
Yep. And also always have, if you're streaming, have what's it called? A scene. A privacy scene. If you are doing stuff like that. So that's a PSA from the Immaterial Gamers. PSA enjoyment noises. Right, we've got a few minutes. Is there anything anyone wants to quickly talk about? I will
Not at
hover.
night.
Not at night. All right, fair enough. In daytime?
Daytime.
Daytime.
Have you guys played Gotham Knights already?
No,
Uh,
No.
no,
meh. Well, that was a
um,
good conversation.
no. Warner Brothers games haven't done me. I've been bitten by Arkham Knight
Yeah.
and never really got back into the Batman related things. And I've heard, but I've not played or like confirmed. I've heard it's not great.
Well, there is a reason why, I don't know, 2 months after the release, it's been half priced.
Oh, mm, shocker.
Yeah.
Rip.
So even more, I had like the coupon on Game Store, Epic
Yeah.
Games, sorry.
Uh,
So
so
I,
hold on, so hold on. It's half price, and then you had the £10 off games,
yeah,
£15 or over coupon.
yeah. So I basically picked it up for like 12 quid,
Wow.
which is not a bad deal breaker.
Mm.
Um, although the gameplay is not great, I really do have a. I'm not far into the story. I'm only like kind of like started. I am maybe like 3-4 hours into, maybe five
hmm
into the game. So the gameplay, the mechanics, they are very simple. The AI is not that great. Um, it's missing something from the old Batman's games. Um,
Yeah.
but the story itself, I have to admit, the story itself is good.
Whew.
It's really good.
Well, at
Oh
least you've
God,
got.
it's
At
going to be
least
another
there's
one of
that.
them. It's another one of those narrative that's impacted by gameplay.
Kind of, yes, it is.
Was
So
this game
once you
shadow developed by Naughty Dogs?
once you start once you start the game, you have like, I don't know, maybe half an hour of intros
Yeah.
of cutscenes,
Oh no.
uh, which are looks great. However, yeah, fine, but let me give the controller. I want to start doing shit.
No, no, no. You'll wait.
Have you never played a Persona game? Oh,
Oh,
we've got a surprise for you. How would you like to play Persona 4 and then not play the game for the first 3.5 hours?
every day's good, great at your Junes. Yes, I know. Now can I walk
Fucking
around
the
Junes?
Yeah, like all of the interaction that you get out of like the first 3 hours of Persona 4 is you walk around and click X on things
Mm.
and and watch cutscenes. It is one of the most miserable starts to a video game I think I've ever
Here you
I've
go,
ever
Duncan.
experienced.
How about this? This would be the world's weirdest thing, right? I'm not going to say it's good, but I'm going to say it's weird. How about Persona 6 as written by Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, yeah, don't.
That would be something.
It
Oh no.
would. It would. But imagine having a 30-minute having a 30-minute cutscene mid boss fight. That's that's what I picture. You've done some attacking and then suddenly codex style just
Ugh.
whatever the main
Oh my
character
god.
name is. Do you read me? Oh, God. Yeah. See, there's the thing. Hideo Kojima is that gameplay impacted by narrative. So I guess we can't have them all. But
If we did, we'd be playing Pokemon and we would be getting shitty frame rates. I speak. You want to know how bad? There's actually
mm,
like a good. Like they got better. They actually did improve this. For like the day, like the pre-patch. Do you want to the how bad, um, Pokemon was? My good old small ant. Uh, you know, big streamer.
hmm
He streamed his experience with Pokemon Violet when he first got it over
yeah.
like 2 days or something. And he streamed for approximately 16 hours to get through like the main story.
hmm
And because of the frame rate issue and because like the game time was tied to frame rate, after 8 hours of streaming, he had actually only clocked about 14 hours in gameplay. He had lost roughly like 10% of the entire like play time to frame drops.
Jesus.
That's how bad the frame rate in that game is.
Holy hell!
Unbelievable.
Wow, wow. And you know what? With that bombshell, just so you just keep thinking about that, we're gonna wrap up the podcast and go into our streaming schedule. Expected, card subject to change, schedule for the week. So tomorrow or Monday, not yet titled, Monday stream, I'll start Persona 3 Portable. I can't. I clearly I cannot only play Persona 3 Portable on the not yet titled Monday stream, because if I did, I would be playing it for about 2 years.
Yeah, you can say that about any Persona game, really.
Well, yeah, imagine if I'm playing Persona 5 Royal again at this point. Just imagine. I mean, I'm playing it offline. I still think it would still take me quite a few weeks to catch up to where you and Andrea were on there. So that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Tuesday, maybe
I'm gonna say there's a pretty good chance of playing.
of games subject to
Eh,
change.
the I my current employer, who is not going to be my current employer for
Ah,
very long
yes.
at the rate they're going, is has offered me an interesting schedule for the week, which is to say that they've offered me 4.5 hours for the entire week.
Oh, rough.
Um, but the good news is that day isn't on Tuesday, so there's a pretty good chance that we'll get to play something on Tuesday.
That something will happen. So
Uh, so yeah, there's that.
yeah, follow us. It's that simple. Follow us. As long as you're not trying to, as long as you're not trying to sell us graphics, welcome. As long as you're not trying to sell us anything, welcome. If you just want to join and watch us be idiots, welcome. You will like it
Abs-
here. If
Absolutely.
if you're trying to sell us custom emotes or graphics or bollocks, get out.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance. We've proved that recently. So just take that into account. I wouldn't mind. I've gone through my Twitter account with like Steph recently. It looks like there's only about 3 graphic designers who have run about 150 accounts. So once those 3 shut up, we'll be all sorted.
All
Um.
right. Excellent.
So yeah.
Everything is
What?
advancing nicely.
Yeah. Wednesday, I think Steph's going to try and drag Darius back on the Void Train.
Oh yeah.
So that'll keep going. Dual play. Teamfight Thursdays will be on the Howling Abyss. I've had to spend too much time in the convergence for teamfight tactics at the moment. I need to kill people in
Mm.
game. In
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. Just go ahead and just delete that fucking voice quote before it's too late.
Yeah. Hi, I'm
Uh,
I'm men. Um, Friday
um,
play session is always a question mark. It's always a surprise. You'll just have to follow us to know when we're going live and what we're
yeah.
playing.
And wouldn't you figure it? The one day of the week that I got
It
a work break. Yep,
is the
right,
Friday.
right on play session time. So I'm
Ah.
not even gonna bother.
Uh,
I'm not even gonna bother saying, maybe no, fuck it, that's not happening.
I'll put it in the calendar. Okay, don't worry, I'll got it. And then weekends is role playing, not in
Oh,
the
gross.
games.
Fuck. Look at this shit. The fuck?
Oh,
Come on, man. I'm not. Got my
oh,
deodorant on and everything.
god
Jesus.
damn it. Yeah. Oh dear, there's a burp. That's gone through. If you want
and
weird
on
sound
that
effects,
bombshell.
yeah, on that burp
That is.
shell.
That's not what we're doing on on Saturday.
No, it's more chained echoes. It's possible that I could finish the game that week. Very possible. I'm in like the very final act leading up to the final battle. There's still like ultimate weapons to craft and stuff like that, but in the 5 hours I'm allowing myself for the weekend, it is probably going to be complete at that point. Which then it might mean that I'll just use some extra sessions to play more Persona until Like a Dragon Ishin comes out mid-February. So,
Mhm.
Good dragon.
so that's the Yakuza games for anyone who didn't know. They've just taken the Japanese name and using it in those games going forward. So they're now just going to be called Like a Dragon. So, well, I mean, it makes sense because the games are barely about the Yakuza anymore. So, you know.
There you go.
I mean, to be fair, Ishin is set during the feuding states period of Japan, so you're samurai. So, yeah,
It'd be weird to have Yakuza wandering
yeah,
around and
in their
you
in
know,
their in their really flashy suits and their pins.
The bins.
There, yeah.
and
So yeah,
that's how ancient Japan was introduced to karaoke.
nani na he,
Dame dame, na na na,
Dario.
na.
Oh, Darius, you look like. Oh, wait, I think I need to get you a Yakuza game just so you can experience it. They're good games with just so
I'm
much
pretty
going
sure I
on.
do own at least one, if not
Oh, if
two. Like,
you,
for example, like a Dragon on PlayStation platform.
yeah,
However,
they're
I
great.
never played it.
Oh man, they're so batshit crazy, especially when all the side stories are like completely unhinged, and yet the main story of the game is like it's as grounded as it's supposed to be.
Right.
So it's just like you're like looking at political intrigue one next, and then you're kicking the crap out of a man wearing a baby's nappy the next. So it's just
Just back to back.
yeah, yeah. So
Like
yeah,
it ain't no thing.
yeah, ain't no fong. Um, damn it. Follow us on the Twitch. Get us over 100. I'll start playing Sonic Adventure for 12 hours. Get us to 100 subscribers on Twitch. YouTube. Oh, if you get actually no, give us 100 subscriptions on YouTube on Twitch as well. That'll be great. But yeah,
100
How many
subs
we've
on
got so
Twitch.
far?
yeah,
100
100.
Twitch. 100 subscribers on Twitch. Starting OnlyFans. Fucking let's go.
Yeah. No, if you get 100 subs on the YouTube at Immaterial Gamers YT, Duncan will play Sonic Adventure 2.
Hell yeah.
So it's that simple. And then just follow us on Twitter at Immaterial Gamer. I'll maybe post stuff that isn't just us going live all the time. I'll have an incentive to do so. Yeah. Right, from me, Duncan and Darius.
Hello.
No, hello. Oh yeah,
Hello.
actually, you know what? That's how we're going to end the podcast. Hello, everybody.
Hey guys.
Good to
Hi.
see you.